Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pair of Dice Paradise's Thrift Sift series. The series where I discuss games that I pick up at thrift stores and garage sales because they look interesting, bizarre, or a combination of both. And today, I'll be taking a look at a game that will not only entertain you, but will likely cause traumatic childhood experiences that you'll be repressing for years to come while it does it. Join me for a flurry of fun and flying cards with a 50% chance of bodily injury as we experience paper-pushing pandemonium in 1991's Card Attack. This week on Thrift Sift, even though it's not a weekly series, and I should have said today on Thrift Sift, Card Attack. Just go to the credits. Alright, we'll get to Card Attack in a minute, but first, we need to do a mental exercise, you and I, together, in order to get ourselves into the proper mental state necessary to really understand this game. So, let's start out by picturing ourselves as someone's older brother. Chances are pretty good that at some point during the day, you're going to decide that tormenting your younger brother sounds like the perfect way to spend your afternoon. Now, of course, your parents are going to stop this behavior as soon as they become aware of it. So you're going to have to get really inventive if you want to continue physically and mentally scarring your little brother. Now, let's say that you're my older brother, Lawrence. Lawrence is 6 years my senior, and even as kids, I had already began to develop a love of both board and card games. And my brother, astute as he was, found a way to incorporate this love of games into the methods that he devised to torment this tyke. He satiated his appetite for sibling injury by introducing me to a fun little game called 52 Card Pickup. Hey kiddo, wanna play 52 Card Pickup? Okay, sure thing, big brother. Took me a month and a half before I realized 52 Card Pickup wasn't a real game. And for years afterwards, the mere sound of shuffling cards would send me into a tailspin. You know, it wasn't even until recently I couldn't even play a deck builder like the Pathfinder Adventure card game without throwing up in my mouth a little bit. Fortunately, I had managed to repress the memories of all of those horrifying pre-adolescent card flurries. But then, those mental barriers came crashing down when I discovered Card Attack, the game that volleys playing cards at your face. In Card Attack, each player is dealt 7 cards from the 84 card deck. The remaining cards are then loaded into the elaborate and probably not OSHA approved card firing mechanism. Playing the game is simple. On each player's turn, they play at least 1 card from their hand face up onto the discard pile, matching either the number, color, or making a numeric sequence, such as 3 5s or a run from 4 to 6. But beware, if your opponent plays a terrible 10 or an attack card, they get to point the machine at you, press the button, and blast you with flying cards. Playing cards go everywhere. It's like having Gambit from the X-Men projectile vomit all over you. The machine bombards the unfortunate player with cardboard missiles until they manage to stop the onslaught by pressing the button again. The target of your attack then ends the turn by hunting behind the furniture for all the cards that were expunged around the room and adding any that they can actually find to their hand. Play then continues. I can only assume that back when this game was originally released, local area hospitals coincidentally saw a sudden increase in playing card-induced eye trauma in children ages 8 and up. The game's instruction manual doesn't really do much to convince me otherwise either. For example, the actual instructions from the rulebook encourage players to, quote, point the machine at the player of your choice and then push the attack button until it fires. Card Attack is the game that makes being bullied by older siblings fun! Card Attack was released by Parker Brothers in 1991. Actually, I am pretty sure that Card Attack was developed solely by the older of the Parker Brothers. Any game that encourages you to point loaded projectiles at your opponent's face was definitely thought up by the older brother. That, coupled with the fact that Card Attack is essentially just an elaborate game of 52 card pickup, clinches it for me. Now, I don't have a little brother of my own with whom I can right the wrongs of the past, but I do have a daughter, V-Bug. And with V-Bug's assistance, I'm going to demonstrate the proper way to introduce a card dexterity game to a young, impressionable, and trusting mind. So, without further ado, I give you a loving parent's guide to introducing Card Attack to your family. Thanks for joining us today, V-Bug. Now, honey, this is a game called Card Attack. Now, don't be intimidated by the name. This is a safe place. Now, the way this game works is that we'll play a series of cards matching numbers and colors, and then eventually one of us will get a card that will allow us to press this attack button to launch a blizzard of cards.
V-Bug, could you be a dear and speed dial Daddy's therapist? Thank you. Well, that's it for this episode of Thrift. Sift. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Now, this is a game all about playing sequences of matching colors and numbers of cards. Sometimes one of us will play it. Don't do that. Okay, let's go. Okay.
She was mocking you.
That's okay.